Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Chase. Today we just have some market news, some news about the debt ceiling, news about how they calculate inflation coming into 2023, and just a quick look at what crypto and stocks are going to do coming into this next week. Okay, just real quick before we actually get into the market news and the debt ceiling and what Janet Yellen's saying, let's go over just how everything's doing for the past 7 days and 24 hours since we've been pumping. Bitcoin's up 23%. We're over 20,000. I think 21,000 is going to be a big resistance line. We'll go to the charts here in a second. But even just in the 24 hours, you're up almost 11%, 10.5. You have Ethereum going up 22%, 9% in the last 24 hours. Everything's basically popping. You have Cardano almost 30%, back up into the 30s, 30 cent level anyways. Even Dogecoin, Polygon, Matic. We actually saw Matic break $1. We've gone down slightly on all of them, but we've finally broken $1 on Polygon. Solana. Now, again, we've talked about this. We'll just briefly, you're going to see some big percentage gains with Solana, but that's, in my opinion, that's just people trying to make their millions. They're buying in at $10. They think, oh man, this is another Luna C, and they're going to throw a bunch of money in it, thinking that they're going to get these 1,000% gains. And so we're up 70% with Solana. We're in the 20s, and we'll see. There's a lot of people still holding them, and maybe Solana figures it out. I just think for a coin, there's a lot of dead time. It's very centralized. They have to reset the network constantly, and so I'm not a big fan of Solana. Plus, it's mainly held by VCs. So Sheep is 23. Avalanche. People really like Avalanche. It's popping off. Anyways, let's get into the news. Biggest bear trap I have ever seen. Market is bouncing more than expected. This is a certainty. Now, is the bearish scenario invalidated? So let's go ahead and get into this. Bitcoin is still testing major resistance. Weekly close will be key, but there is no bullish confirmations yet. So a lot of people were calling for 14,000. Some were even calling for 12 to 10,000. And you can see we've kind of beat expectations to the upside. But we do have these historic bounces that have happened in the past that have led to lower lows. You can see here, you have a bounce here, consolidation, and then a drop. So you have a slight bounce here, a slight bounce here. We're having our bounce here. Now, are we going to break resistance? And this is all based off historical data. As Bitcoin gets picked up by more and more people, as it becomes more mainstream, a lot of the historic data is going to be hard to use, and we're going to have to go into kind of new waters, so to speak. Now, your traditional market's also in a downtrend. Your SPY keeps forming lower highs and lower lows, and earnings season is also expected to not be that great. And some of this uncertainty is at the macro level, and you have the U.S. that's about to hit its debt limit. And so they're going to cut spending on a lot of things. And Congress is going to have to figure this out. Are we going to raise the debt ceiling, or are we going to cut spending? Traditionally, you just raise the ceiling and you keep spending as you will. And so this is also something that we're kind of watching going into the future. There's a lot of uncertainty. And one thing markets do not like is uncertainty. And to kind of finish off the news, you have the way CPI is going to be calculated going into the future is changing. So your owner equivalent rents, which has been actually keeping CPI and inflation high through 2022, is actually going to be weighted down. And so that's going to have less of an impact on CPI. And the other big news is that CPI 2023 is actually only going to have a 1 year calculation instead of the 2 year. So traditionally, CPI has been calculated over the past 2 years. Going into the future, it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit shorter, and it's only going to be calculated off the past year. So that's going to be huge. We're going to see, I'm expecting to see CPI with the owner's equivalent rents being weighted less, and us only looking at 22. We're definitely going to see some big drops in the CPI. Now, is this cheating? That's for you to say. But we are obviously changing the way CPI is calculated to help inflation. In my opinion, the data show that we're going down. Now, real quick, this is kind of what they're talking about. So when you look at these charts, you're obviously hitting resistance right here at right around the 21,000 mark. And you could see huge pop. This is your daily chart. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days in a row that, not technically in a row, you have 2 red days, but that's 14 days that we popped off support up it right into this resistance level. And so we broke out of our flag. We're hitting resistance. And then with the macro and our economics being so uncertain, this is leading people to think that we might have some lows coming into the future. So just be mindful of that. And we can zoom out and you can see it is just a little blip on the map. We are very far down from all-time highs. Let's quick look at Ethereum. Everything kind of has a similar chart. Your 4,800 level. Ethereum's also hitting resistance. And so we're going to look, and actually, which psychological resistance is also huge. And so when playing some of these projects, stocks, crypto, dollar marks, $half marks, anything with a round number is going to be big. And so if you're trading Polygon and it's coming up to $1, you can expect $1 to be a psychological resistance mark that we're going to struggle to get over. And so that's kind of what happened here. We hit $1 and obviously have come back since then. Now, if you've been enjoying these videos, just trying to keep you up to date, to try to give you a different perspective going into things. And as we make our videos, we're going to be trying to show different technicals, different way to analyze situations, different strategies to make you think about what the bank's doing, what are the Fed doing, what's the government doing. If we're hitting the debt ceiling, are we going to keep spending money like we have been, or are we going to cut spending? And so just little things to think about when it comes to trading. Don't just YOLO into meme stocks per se, and don't be afraid to take profits as they come. Now, again, if you're liking these videos, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. We're trying to be prepared for 2023, going into the future, trying to grow and become eventually financially free. Thank you.